Hi, fans. Welcome back to Studio Jake. Today, I've got a very special treat for you. I have Mia Rhode. She is, as Bill O'Reilly would say, the purveyor of Life of a Shooter Wife, and that's her. That's her. I don't think I'm supposed to say Bill O'Reilly anymore, but that is her blog. She writes about all kinds of sporting and particularly with firearm sports, and so we're happy to have her on. Mia, welcome to Studio Jake.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, it's fun fact. Me and Mia have actually done an interview before. You actually did a questionnaire interview for me
Yeah.
for my blog. So you're actually the first returning guest.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
nice.
pretty cool.
Nice.
So, but now, hunting season is about to start, correct?
Uh, well,
you know what,
I'm not a hunter.
Right.
Shooting season is
That's
starting.
right. That's what I meant.
Kind of,
Shooting
yeah.
season.
Yeah.
So, what exactly does that entail for you? What do you like to do? What kind of events do you like to go for? That kind of thing.
Um, well, the competitive shooting that we go to and that my husband's involved in is long rifle, Palma. So he doesn't do pistol or anything like that. Nothing with shotgun and he's not a hunter.
Right.
So it's he's actually on the developmental team of the U.S. National Rifle Team. So he is planning, hoping to be going to New Zealand 2019.
Oh wow.
So he's working on that. But the shooting
What is New Zealand? What's in New Zealand?
Oh, okay. So the regular Olympics, that everyone participates in, there is no, except for the biathlon, there is no shooting sports in that anymore.
Oh, wow.
So there's a separate event that's basically the Olympics for competitive shooting. And that's the World Shooting Competition. That's every 4 years.
Oh, wow.
So it takes place in different countries. South Africa, there's one that's just finished up in South Africa. And you did not go to that. It usually takes place in South Africa, New Zealand, Ireland, and England.
Nice.
So last year, actually, well, I think it was 2 years ago. It was actually held at Camp Perry. It was kind of like a trial to see how it would work because it is such a large event. So they kind of did a test there. So the next one that he's hoping to participate in is for 2019, and that would be in New Zealand.
Nice.
And so that's you've got your various long range, your F class, your Palma, things like that. There's usually it's a civilian marksmanship programs. You'll have your army teams there, things like that. So you have military teams, and then you have regular civilians that also compete. Yeah.
And you said he primarily does long rifle, and he doesn't do pistol, just primarily.
No pistol.
That's why I'm mainly rifle as well. So.
Oh yeah. That's funny because I was just I signed up for a continuing education class for pistol, and a 2-day workshop. And I was realizing after I signed up for it that I'm more of a long rifle person. I mean, that's what I've been around. So it's kind of like maybe the opposite of a lot of people who don't have experience with any type of firearm. Because the rifles they can tend to look a little scarier,
Right.
and especially with the ones that my husband used, they don't look like your typical hunting rifle. So I mean, they can look kind of space age. Somebody would be like, "What is that?" It looks like something you might see in Star Wars, or so that's what I'm used to being around. So for me, actually, handguns, pistols are a little more intimidating. So I would like to be able to, become more proficient with it. I do carry, I don't carry all the time, but you won't know when it is that I'm not and when it is that I am. You can never have too much education and too much training when it comes to any type of firearm. So, but I would like to be able to be as comfortable with a handgun as I am with being around rifles and handling a rifle.
Now, let me ask you, with your training that you're doing with handguns, what kind of a handgun would you recommend for someone who, like my wife, who's she's on the smaller, she's real small and petite. What kind of handgun would you recommend for someone like her who might, have a problem with like a Magnum or something like that,
Picking out a handgun is about as personal as picking out, what kind of underwear you want to buy. I mean, it's very personal.
That is true.
So I don't like to say this is what you should have based on your stature, based on other physical traits of a person. The best thing that a woman can do if she's interested in concealed carrying or just being able to feel comfortable protecting herself in her home, if she's not going to bring it outside of the home, I would just recommend going with somebody who is comfortable, going to a store. Don't tell them that you're looking to buy, because you don't want to feel that pressure from them. Depending on where you go, you might still feel pressure. But I would just, look at different ones. A lot of places will have a shooting range where you can try things out. Some of the stores will actually have a ladies' night where you can go, no cocktails, but you can go. You can go and they'll have, a variety of handguns you can try out at the range right there on the spot. Sometimes it's $5, and then per handgun that you want to try. Sometimes there'll be an extra cost for your ammo. But it's a really nice way to try out different things. I think the biggest mistake that a woman can make is to go off of somebody else's recommendation and then just go out and buy that. I actually took this will be my second women's only class, and I think those are really nice for women because it's a non-threatening environment. You're surrounded with other women without, they're usually, you have different degrees of experience and exposure to firearms. The instructors are all usually, are all great. They're there specifically knowing that the class is going to be filled with women of all different, degrees of experience, some without any. And then, so the first class I took, it was a small class. There was only 2 other women in the class actually, so it was really nice. So it was really tailored to, we could really talk about our specific concerns and things that we were interested in. And then the instructor had about 10 different handguns. And then we, so that there was the class part, and then about 2 hours on the range. And we got to try whatever we wanted. There was no pressure to try anything if you didn't want to. But it was really nice. I think, I've heard of women who have the first firearm they've tried is a revolver. And a lot of stores will, the first thing they'll say is you should get a revolver because they're really tiny, they're really cute. They don't look as intimidating to some people as, a regular pistol can. However, they do have quite a bit of recoil. And so I've known women who the first gun that they try is a revolver. They fire it and that's it. They don't want anything to do with any type of gun because it was really scary and really loud and really intimidating. So, just to not, take recommendations from people, but really to go and experience for yourself. I'm a smaller person. I cut hair for 20 years, so I have some issues with my hands. I have, tendonitis and things like that. So, of course, my husband, he had a car, KHR, facility thought, because it was small and it would be, and I'm only 5'1", so I'm tiny, it's hard for me to, conceal something. So he thought, well, this would be good for you because you're tiny and it's small. And the slide action on the top was really hard for me to pull back.
Oh, okay.
So, because of my hands. Whereas, a man, it would, or somebody who didn't have issues with their hands, it would be fine. So, after explaining to him that, no, this isn't good for me. So we finally did go somewhere. And this was after my class. And we did find something that was much better. So I have a 6-hour P238. So
That's nice.
Yeah, it's small. It's a little bigger than the car, but it has a little bit more weight to it, which also helps absorb some of the recoil. But the slide action on top is very easy to pull back. I don't have any problems with it. And it's a really nice gun. It's really nice.
Well, that's cool, and it's exactly what you're saying, because my wife and I, it was so funny, we were watching a TV show, I think it was a rerun of How I Met Your Mother, and I don't know if you're familiar with the show, but the character that Colby Summers plays is a gun nut, as they call her in the show. Not a gun enthusiast or a shooting sportswoman. She's a gun nut. And there's a scene where she's firing this freakishly large handgun.
Yeah.
And they're making it, I told my wife, I said, she's faking the recoil. And, and my wife goes, well, how can you tell? I said, because your wrist doesn't do this from recoil, your hand does that from recoil. So I said they're intentionally making it look like a gun is difficult to fire. And I said, it's also really dangerous for her to do that even with blanks.
Right.
So So it's true. It's true. I remember my father taught me to shoot with a Glock 9mm. I can't remember the specific model, but I was really glad for that because it's a really safe gun.
Yeah.
And
Glocks are nice. They hardly ever have an issue, a technical issue with them. They always, my husband and I both, we've never had any problems with them.
Yeah, and it's good for range shooting or target practice as well. For my graduation, my grandfather gave me a .22 Winchester pump action, so it's real old school, but it's a ton of fun to shoot. And it's so funny because me and my sister's husband, my brother-in-law, he likes more of like what you were saying, kind of the space age, futuristic looking guns. And I usually like that with everything, but with guns, I like the old.
You like classic?
I like the classic cowboy.
I do, and actually, my husband had got me an M1 Grand.
Oh, nice!
It was beautiful, and I loved it. But I never shot it, and it was just kind of like to kind of add to the collection I have around. But then he decided, because we didn't use it or anything like that, and he was trying to thin the herd, so to speak. He wound up trading it for something else. So I wasn't too happy about that, but whatever.
I have a Maryland 40-40 I haven't fired yet, and I realized, because someone said, it might have been my dad, he said, hey, look up how to shoot this gun, because it's a real old-fashioned gun. It's not even like your Winchester. He said this is what John Wayne shot with, so you need to, and so I'm thinking, and so I'm so glad I did, because there's so many myths about, even from pro gun movies about it. So I'm glad I watched like some instructional videos, because like I was going to take it down to the range, and I realized, oh my gosh, I would have looked like a freaking idiot because I was going to load it wrong. Like I hadn't actually loaded it, but I was like, okay, this is probably how you load it. And then the instructional guy was like, hey, if you do this, you're doing that wrong. And I was like, oh, well, I was doing it wrong.
Live and learn.
I'm completely, when it comes to shooting, I'm not a pro like your husband is, or like you are. I've never done, I just do it I'm a Texan, so we love guns in Texas.
I
like the cowboy guns.
Well, I'm far from a pro. I just most of up until 2 years ago, it was me just going with him to the matches and things like that. but I've become a little bit more involved. I have my own rifle now, and last summer I did shoot 2 F-class matches.
Oh, nice.
So that was interesting. It was yeah, it was very interesting. So I'm hoping to do it a little more. The only issue that we have is that because pretty much every weekend we're away, we're shooting at a range. So and it's for my husband, and he's been, his career in shooting is more important than mine, and I'm fine with that. So I'm not really sure how many opportunities I will have to actually shoot a match, which I'm fine with, but I'm hoping that there will be at least a few this summer. So yeah.
Now, I want to shift gears still on guns, but I wanted to ask you, because there are these new laws that are popping up where if an intruder comes into your home and you blow them away in self-defense, basically, they're starting to try to pass laws, which is like this in England. You can't even use a firearm in self-defense in your own home. And I even was watching Steven Crowder. He had Iraqi veteran 8888 on it. I love that guy's YouTube channel, and he was basically saying, they're saying that if an intruder comes in, I'll never forget Steven Crowder how he worded this. A intruder comes into your house and you shoot him with a firearm, that is excessive. And he goes, yeah, there's an intruder in your home. You want to be excessive.
Yeah.
And so, I would like to get your thoughts on that. Like, because it seems like now even the very right to self-defense is starting to be attacked by gun control advocates.
Right. Well, I mean, we know that the right to self-defense has been debated for years and years, and especially over the last 8 years, it's been the left's goal to slowly chip away at that, and it's been a consistent and sometimes subliminal indoctrination of society and our culture that we have to create these safe spaces for everyone. Guns kill people. And so we want to make sure that we can eliminate guns, because then there won't be any more murders and no more mass shootings. Well, it's just a tool. It's just a means to carry out, a bad action. So, the two laws that are the two bills that are up for, the one that you're referring to is stand your ground. That is, they're trying to say that you can still carry outside of your home. So why wouldn't you be able to defend yourself in your home? I mean, it's such a dichotomy sometimes, how the mentality of the left and the anti-gun people of what defense of yourself in your home should be. I mean, that's just to be able to defend yourself, your home, your family, your property. That's a natural, God-given right that every person has, and it should not be up for debate. And the fact that it continues to be is just it's going to keep on. It's something that will never go away. As Second Amendment supporters and supporters of the Constitution, originalists, we need to make sure that we stand our ground, and that we show up at these debates, these rallies. We spend time at our capitals, and we lobby. I just a few weekends ago, I was at probably the biggest collector's gun show here in Minnesota. And that was held at State Fairgrounds and Coliseum, and I was there with the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus and PAC, and we were there, and that was actually my first time doing it, so it was kind of interesting. But we were there, giving information out and pretty much, just trying to get people on board and to really know about these two bills, the stand your ground, which we were talking about, and the other one is constitutional carry. So, that's basically, the Second Amendment is my permit, type thing. So, it's already in there. It shouldn't have to be debated, but of course it is, and it will continue to be. So, it didn't make the omnibus, but here in Minnesota. But it's we do have a second opportunity, so there's some last minute wheeling and dealing that we're going to try and do. But it's all politics, unfortunately. So
you're exactly right, because like one thing I think is funny is the national
reciprocity.
Yes, I hope Colin Nora wasn't watching that. That was terrible. But it's basically, it's the bill where they're saying if you get a concealed carry in Texas, you can carry it, you can drive it through like Louisiana and not get pulled over and and go to jail for that. And like these New York politicians are flipping out, even though a law-abiding citizen legally got a concealed carry license. They're mad that they can't arrest this law-abiding firearm owner, and it just drives me crazy. I actually wrote about that on Conservative News, and I almost tagged like you and Dana Lash and Colin Noir in it. I was like, have you guys seen this? And then now even YouTube is censoring gun channels by putting them all in restricted mode, even if they're just demonstrating a product. It's just crazy all the stuff that's going on.
I mean, they're gonna any avenue they can take. They hit a dead end on one, they're just gonna find another street to take, and it's it's a never-ending battle, but it's one worth continuing, and we have to. I mean, it's we've seen it over and over again in other countries. Gun control, and they take away a person's ability to defend themselves and have their own firearms. It never ends well, and it doesn't end well for the citizens usually.
Yeah, it's true. Now I'm gonna switch. Now this is a complete 360, but my vlog is primarily a pop culture blog.
Yeah.
So I wanted to. Well, I wanted to ask. And what are some movies you're excited about that are coming out, or what is a movie you saw recently, even if it's an older one that you enjoyed? What's like recently I watched Waterboy for the first time with Adam Sandler.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm like, oh man, he actually did used to be funny. What the heck?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, the last movie that I did see in the theater was Logan.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
See, I didn't like it.
It wasn't. It wasn't what I expected. I did kind of know ahead of time that it was more of a story, like suspense, not so much, the way it was the other ones he's been in. So I did not like the way it ended, of course. But I mean, I thought it was fine. I'm not a very picky person. The only things that I won't watch. My husband is he's gonna kill me too. He's huge into the trailer park boys.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. That's not. So we do have a really big difference in the types of programs and movies that we like. One series though that we just completely binge watched was Orphan Black.
Is it good? I've not seen it yet.
I thought it was. Yeah, we really liked it. We literally binge watched 4 seasons in probably like 2 months. like every night we were watching like 2 episodes. So there's some parts in it that are a little but we're all adults.
Right. One movie that I like, and it's actually pro Second Amendment, is The Aurora. It's it's an indie film. You can get it on Amazon. It's ARROYO, I think. It's actually it's an indie film, and it's really great.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, or you can order the DVD. But yeah, if for all my viewers who like good movies with great storyline, it's The Aurora is fantastic. So I'm gonna plug that one there. Because I watched it recently. The director actually gave me. I know the director, and he gave me an autographed copy of it. I never saw it before that, and it was really good. So I plan on doing a video about it, but I just thought I'd throw that out there since.
We'll definitely check that out.
But anyway, Mia, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me on my website, lifeofashooterswife.com, all in one word. And then, of course, I'm on Twitter at StudioJake. I'm just starting to figure out Instagram. My main avenue has been Twitter for the longest. I'm just coming up on actually.
Huh? I think that's how we
that's how we connected. Yep. I'm actually this month is my 1 year anniversary of my website. So it's So I'm still working out the kinks with that. Life happens, so I haven't been able to do too much writing lately. Our daughter's getting married next month, and my nephew's getting married next month. So we're really busy. But yeah, I have some projects coming up on that. One that I just started actually this month was I'm doing a shooter spotlight.
Oh, nice.
And we go down to the Burger Southwest Nationals down in Phoenix every year. And this year, I always meet some really great people. But I connected with Annette Wachter, 30 Cal Gal. So those in the shooting world, she's very well known. Great person, very nice. So she actually is on my website as my first interview for Shooter Spotlight. So I have some other interviews that are already done and waiting in queue. So Brian Litz is one of them, and he's a really nice guy too. Yep. So he's going to be coming up soon. So my hopes for that is just to profile different shooters in the shooting community, high profile, local, just anybody, just to bring more attention that we're just regular, everyday people. We're not right wing religious zealots. But it is a sport. It does have a real art to it. And we're just regular people, and I think to showcase the everyday lives of people, will make it more interesting and hopefully draw in more competitive shooters. So look for that. And then basically I'm just trying to figure out how to navigate through my 5 different social media sites.
Yeah, I feel your pain there.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, be sure to like and subscribe to StudioJake for more upcoming interviews. I've got some more down the road, and also you can follow me on Twitter at RealJacobAiry, and my blog is jacobairy.blog. And also be sure to find my book on Amazon. It's a paranormal thriller, Cacophony. Cacophony. So be sure to check that as well.
I'm trying to figure out how to your book. Coffee. Okay. I got it.
Yeah. And it's on Amazon. Thank you so much, Mia, for joining us.
Thank you.